Why is a society that identifies itself as probably predominantly not Christian anymore still celebrate Easter? Why is that?
Good question.
I have a question for you, Richard.
Yes, Celia.
Why is a society that identifies itself as probably predominantly not Christian anymore still celebrate Easter? Why is that?
Good question. We love a holiday. I know I love a holiday.
I'm not going to get rid of a four-day holiday. But, you know, it just seems to me.
Yeah, why celebrate Easter?
Well, for me, it would still be special even if there wasn't a holiday.
Why would it be special?
Well, is you asking me personally or?
Yes, personally.
Yes, personally. Well, I suppose growing up, we all have issues, and I've always had issues about shame and feeling ashamed. Partly that has to do with things to do with my father, and being the adult son of an alcoholic father, you recognise things looking back, and never being quite sure whether you'd done enough, whether you were acceptable enough, all complicated by my own responses, of course. But for me, Easter just tells this beautiful story of this man who is not ashamed of me. He's got no sense of abandonment, no sense of insecurity. He's just fully embracing me in doing what he's doing, and he's not ashamed. So even if there's no holiday, for me, it's exceedingly precious still that we remember Easter and remember the events of Easter.
And I think you're right. It is a personal thing, isn't it? I guess when I think about Easter for me, Easter is all about getting together with family. You know, that's a really important thing. And even though my family, you know, not necessarily strongly Christian, it's a really important time of being together. And I still remember, and I love, the best part is we have a dawn service down along the river, and watching that sunrise come up, and I just have that reflection of, I can't believe that somebody would, you know, give their life for me. Like, what is it about me that, you know, I feel so, you know, I stuff up all the time. I feel so unworthy. I don't get it right. Yet Jesus died for me. And that's that every Easter when I can sit and just have that time to reflect. That's a pretty important thing to keep remembering.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
Yeah.
I reflect on Easter and feel it very special to be loved, and to have someone that loves me that much, to go to such great lengths, and what you hear in the Easter story and what Jesus did, and that great love he has for me. I often reflect back on my journeys, mainly through the teenage years, when Easter really made a significant impact on me. And there's that time of life where you're wrestling with different relationships and friendships. And it was a time often where I felt quite alone and rejected at different times. But to hear that there is a God who loves me unconditionally and would go through such an act of sacrifice to demonstrate how deep his actual love was for me, it made a big difference in my life. Gave me a lot of confidence, a lot of hope, and it also impacted, I suppose, in my relationships. So I knew I was loved and loved deeply, so then I could love others in a similar way. So and reflect that into my other relationships.
So how do you explain Easter to people? Like, what is it about Easter?
I tend to start with a story of Jesus. It's amazing how many things I actually forget. I don't realise actually are in the Easter story, but when I hear it again, it just comes alive. So this Easter story of Jesus being betrayed, dying on the cross and rising again to give me life is just amazing.
But
quite incredible.
How do you explain it to people?
Yeah,
Like, how do you explain that?
It is a good question,
You know?
yes.
But if you think about our conversation, yes, it is all to do with the facts. You can't alter those. They're just historically what happened. Jesus was crucified. He did rise on the third day. But most of our conversation has actually been about the present. Like it's not as though Jesus is a figure locked up in history somewhere in the past, and it's not like you're even thinking back about him. Our conversation is about what Easter means in a very real sense. Easter goes on. You know, I meet people all the time who still meet Jesus, or Jesus comes to people. He brings the reality of what he did all those years ago into people's lives and hearts in forgiveness and other ways.
Or like here for us, you know, Easter shows me that I'm loved, or Easter covers your shame, and Easter says that you're worthy. God says that through those, like every day. It's not just
So Easter's not just a weekend.
Yeah.
It's not just a holiday weekend. It's actually a living thing.
From one point of view, Easter just is.